This is a very exciting day because we are making a virtually no spike, incredible gooey brownie. These are absolutely incredible. When I posted a photo of these brownies on my Instagram, I don't think I've ever gotten more messages. So I'm so excited to bring this to you today. It has no refined sugar, no refined grains. We're balancing the carbs with some healthy fats and protein and tons of antioxidants with some organic cocoa powder and some pecans, which are the highest antioxidant nut that you can buy at the grocery store. So these are just a metabolic powerhouse brownie. And honestly, if you're choosing between eating like Honey Nut Cheerios or a brownie for breakfast, definitely choose this brownie. The best part, this brownie only takes one bowl. You put everything in the bowl, stir it around, throw it in the oven, you're done in 20 minutes. It's an incredible recipe that I know you are going to love. So here it is, time to make some awesome brownies. So the ingredients are all here in front of us and we're just gonna throw them all in a bowl. We're gonna start with 1 cup of fine almond flour. And you wanna get fine because if you just get regular, sort of more coarse almond flour, it could be a little grainy when you eat the brownies. So that'll go in the bowl first. Then we're gonna add in 1/4 cup of non-alkalized cocoa powder and then 2 tablespoons more. So this is 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And I love a recipe like this that has lots of cocoa powder because cocoa is actually an incredible metabolic food, which is kind of surprising, but it actually has virtually no sugar. It has quite a bit of fiber, 2 grams of fiber per tablespoon. So this is about 6 tablespoons. So we're talking about 12 grams of fiber just from the cocoa alone. And cocoa is incredible because it's filled with plant flavonols, which are just these protective antioxidants. And remember, antioxidants are great for the body because they protect our mitochondria from oxidative stress and let us make energy more effectively. One more thing about cocoa, you wanna buy a non-alkalized organic version because the alkalized products tend to have much less of these cocoa flavonols. It can actually be 90% less. So get all the nutrients you can out of these brownies. So 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons in there. Next, we're gonna add the sweetener. And for this recipe, we're gonna use 100% allulose. And allulose is a non-nutritive natural sweetener. So what that means by non-nutritive is it has 0 calories and it won't spike glucose or insulin. It's about 70% as sweet as sugar. So when you're using it for baking, you wanna add about 30% more compared to what you would have used for sugar if you wanted to have the same sweetness level. It still hasn't quite made it into all the grocery stores, but if you search 100% allulose online, there's a bunch of brands. So this is gonna be 3/4 cup of allulose straight in the batter. Next, we are gonna add 2 eggs. These are organic, pasture-raised eggs, and so they're gonna have lots of good nutrients like B vitamins and choline. And then we'll add 1/2 teaspoon salt and 1 teaspoon baking powder. We're gonna put a touch of cinnamon in here, just 1/4 teaspoon for some flavor, but also for its metabolic benefits. Cinnamon has shown to be glucose stabilizing, and there's lots of proposed reasons for this, but one is because of a chemical compound in cinnamon called cinnamaldehyde, which is what gives it its distinct smell and flavor, and this seems to be an insulin sensitizer. There's also compounds in cinnamon which may actually mimic the effect of insulin, letting us get our glucose spikes down faster. So always good to sprinkle a little cinnamon in your smoothies, on rubs you're using on salmon or meat, or in a brownie recipe. Another cool thing about cinnamon is it might actually slow digestion, and so your food isn't getting into the gut as quickly, and so that will also blunt the steepness of a blood sugar spike. For our oil for the recipe, we're gonna be using 1/3 cup of coconut oil. And usually when the coconut oil is in your cabinet, if the temperature is sort of ambient room temperature, it's gonna be solid. So what you wanna do is just scoop this out into a little microwave safe dish and then just microwave it for about 10 to 20 seconds so that it gets clear and liquidy before you put it in your batter. A secret ingredient of this recipe that makes these really moist and is quite important is a nut butter. So today I'm using almond butter, and we're gonna use a 1/3 cup here, and it just makes the brownies really delicious and gooey. Next, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of water and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're also throwing in a few stevia-sweetened dark chocolate chips. This is a 1/2 cup, and I'll do about half in the batter, and then I'll do about half on top of the brownies right before we bake them. Similar with these pecans. Again, I love pecans because they are one of the highest antioxidant nuts that you can find. They're up there with walnuts, and so definitely worth incorporating into your diet because, again, antioxidants are so good for our metabolic health. So I'm gonna throw these in my mini food processor just to roughly chop them. Put a couple of these in our batter and then the rest on top. So now we're done, and we just stir it up with a whisk, gently. Before we started, I set the oven to 350 degrees. We're gonna put this in an 8-inch oven-safe dish, and we're gonna bake for about 20 minutes, but I like to check at about 17 minutes to just make sure they're not overcooking, and put a fork in the middle of them to make sure there's no batter on the fork. Once that fork goes in and comes out with no brownie batter on it, you know they're ready to go. Okay, yum. I think I gotta taste it. I'm in camp. Try the brownie batter and the cookie dough. I mean, it's kind of the best part, right? You guys are gonna love this. I can't wait for you to make it. So we've got our brownie batter ready. We've got our oven-safe dish. And I really like to put a piece of parchment paper in the dish because then when the brownies are done, you just lift it out and it's so simple to cut and nothing gets stuck in the bottom. So lay that in there. And then let's get those brownies in there. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. Every last drop, and then spread that around. And it'll be a pretty thin layer of brownie batter in here, but I've noticed that it does kind of pop up while it's cooking, so do not fret. This is looking so good. I don't know if I can wait for these to bake. I'm so excited. Last step, throw some more of those chocolate chips on top. Just sprinkle them. This is not a precise art when it comes to chocolate chips. And then sprinkle some of those pecans that we chopped on top. Wow. Okay, check this out. What do you think? Are we excited? I am. Let's get them in the oven. At 350. time to get the brownies out of the oven. I'm so excited. This place smells amazing right now. Check those out. My mouth is watering. These actually took about 35 minutes, so actually quite longer than I was expecting. So just note that when you're making these, and really make sure that the fork, when it goes in, doesn't have any brownie batter on it when you take it out, and then you know it's done. I hope that you love these brownies so much when you make them. These are really just such a rock star recipe because they're not gonna spike your blood sugar the way regular brownies do. And remember, these are low spike brownies and they have 4 amazing metabolic aspects. They're filled with antioxidants. We've swapped out the refined grains for almond flour, so you're just gonna immediately slash that glucose spike that you'd get from refined grains. We also swapped out refined sugar with allulose, and they're balanced because they've got lots of healthy fat and protein. We've got the coconut oil and we've got the almond butter. So it's the moment, it's time to take a bite. I'm so excited. Ten out of 10. Enjoy.